Hello everyone, welcome to Just Academy. In this video from our Katana tutorial series, we are going to talk about the material systems in Katana. So yeah, I have a simple scene here. I have my camera asset that's been downloaded from ALab asset from USD asset from Animal Logic. So it's an open source one. I already mentioned that. So it's a very cool one. So I have got this camera from the data. So the open source model library. So it contains four different assets in it. So we are going to work on this. So yeah, so I have three different cameras as well. So as you can see here, one camera is for full coverage, and one is for just the electronics camera, and the other one is for car battery. So yeah, let's launch a live render. So I have a simple lighting and all the other setups. Cool. So as you can see here, the background, I'm not happy with the background, so it's black. So I'm just going to replace with a different color. So I have a image color node here. It is a default node from Katana. So you can it's a 2D node, so you can just create and you can change the color. So here like this, and you can set the resolution as well. So yeah, I'm just going to preview render so that you can see here. And let's go to the catalog. And let me drag and drop this to the slot number 2, and I'm just going to press this now so that it's foreground. Now I'm just going to use my middle mouse button and drag and drop this to here. So you need to make sure you have enabled this so that you can drag and drop here, and now you can see we have now replaced our background with our constant. So yeah, cool. So let's launch the IPR again. I'm just going to include everything to the live render updates. So yeah, let me go to perspective. So yeah, so we have everything is working fine, so we can talk about the material system. So we have two different material nodes available for us. The first one is the default material. So basically I have never used this material from our material node in our production. So basically if I add a shader here, it's a PRMan BXDF, and add a PXR surface here, so you can see everything is pretty much there from our PXR surface, but we don't have any options to connect our textures, and we don't have options to work with our complex shading networks using this material node. So this is just a basic material. So yeah, you can just assign a constant value. So other than that, we have some other things to work with our material node. We have create child material and edit material, override materials are there that we are going to talk about a bit later in this video. So yeah, so I'm just going to delete this for now, and we have the other one that's called network material create. So basically this is the node that is responsible for working with complex shading networks and other stuffs. So this is a pretty advanced one and pretty convenient one. So so in order to use this, basically we need to create a merge node. I'm going to connect it here, and let's swap the input and connect it here this way, so that now you can see we have our material here, we have our network material, and let's change the naming so that you can see. So we have two different namings. One is the actual name of our node, but this one is the name of our network material in the scene graph. So basically I'm just going to rename this with my geometry that I'm going to assign. So let's copy and paste it here and remove the part that we don't want. And finally I'm going to include NMC, which stands for network material create. I'm just going to copy this again and paste it here. So yeah, this is fine. So as you can see here, everything is working fine. So I'm just going to create a material assign node and connect it here. I'm just going to press Alt G so that I can create a material stack out of it. So now here I'm just going to paste it once again and change this to MA, which stands for material assignment. So this is, in my opinion, most of the time this is very important. This naming conventions helps you to keep your scene in a very organized way. So yeah, so let's assign our geometry and assign our material here. So yeah, actually it's assigned now, as you can see here, and let's check whether if it's working or not. So as you can see, I haven't explained that much about the network material create. So basically you can see here it looks like a group node. So if you press this little icon here, so it will take you into this node. So now you can create whatever material that you want here. So basically I have installed RenderMan at this moment. So if you have installed Arnold on 3D Light or any other stuff, basically you need to press Shift and Tab and it will show you all the render engines available for us. Basically now it's defaulted to PRMan, but if you want you can press and click this USD, and if I press Tab now, just the tab, so it will show you only the USD based nodes. So let's press Escape and Shift Tab. It says this, set this to PRMan, and now if I press Tab, so it will show you the PXR nodes. So let's create a PXR surface and let's connect it here into the PRMan BXDF, as you can see here. So if I select this output, and now you can see we have our PRMan BXDF is highlighted. So if you selected a displacement output, so it will be highlighted. So it helps you to understand what output and what needs to be connected as an input. So yeah, I'm just going to connect it here, and I'm just going to change the color to check whether it's working or not. I think we are missing something. I'm not sure. We have assigned the material, everything is fine. So let's relaunch the IPR. Sometimes it happens. Yeah, so now it's just working fine. So we have everything is working fine here, and before we dive into here, so I'm just going to explain a bit about our network material create here in this. So basically you can create as many network material parameter network material here. So if I right click, and if you want you can add another network material, and you can assign a different material here, and you can see, so we can use that later. So I mean, you can assign multiple materials. As you can see here, we have two different network materials here, and if I dive into this, you can see here we have two different ports are available for us. You can just expand and collapse this way, but if I delete this, so it will be gone. So this is pretty cool. It helps us to sometimes if you import one texture node, like if you have hundreds of material assignments, but all the materials using particular color maps, so one single color map, so you don't have to create multiple network material create, and you don't have to create different color textures in all the material create nodes, so that later on if you want to change the textures, you have to go all the network material create nodes and you need to update that. So instead of doing that, you can create a PXR texture node here. Okay. Oops. PXR texture node, one PXR texture node, and you can create as many network materials as you want, and you can create a different PXR surface or materials as you want. And so I'm just going to explain this. So you can connect it to this, and you can assign this material to this area, and still you can connect this texture to everywhere like this. So let's say let's imagine we have hundreds of materials here like this. We have created hundreds of network material here, but we still have only one color texture, so that if you have any updates, so if you receive latest textures from your texture department, so all you have to do is you need to update here, so it will update everywhere. So this is the one of the very important thing of network material create node. So but in this case we are not going to work that way. It's just for explaining you, but I'm going to show you a different way so that I can explain you about the child material and material override systems in Katana. So yeah, I'm just going to get one step back and enable it. So let's delete this. So at this moment we have only this material. Oh, something is okay, yeah. So we have connected the texture node and we haven't assigned the texture, so basically it picks a missing color from here. So if I change this, you can clearly see it here. So yeah, this is really cool. So it helps us to debug the things. So I'm just going to create a constant px or constant node so that I can see if the textures are loaded or not. So I'm just going to get my textures. Basically I'm just going to first rename this to color, and basically yeah, so this is the path. Basically I have all my textures here. So let's load the base color, and as you can see here at this moment it picks let me minimize this. So at this moment, as you can see here, it just picks the 1004th UDM. So I just want to replace this number with the UDM token like this, so that it will pick the UDM based textures according to the UV tiles. So now all our color textures are loaded as per our UDMs. So this is really cool. I'm just going to copy this 2 more times, and let's rename this to metallic, and this to roughness. And I'm going to, instead of use in order to create your normal map, instead of using pxr texture, I'm just going to use the pxr normal map. So we have the option to import our textures into this here. So yeah, that's fine. So I'm just going to import our textures one by one. So basically I'm just going to copy this UDM text. So that is the easy way when we are working manually. So I'm going to import connect the metallic textures, and I'm just going to replace this with our constant. So I'm going to change the UDM token. So now as you can see here, we have loaded our metallic, and finally and now let's load the roughness and change this to UDM and connect it here this way. And finally we are going to import our normal map. Change the UDI. Cool. So let's connect the normal. Check. So yeah, so everything is working fine. So let's get rid of this constant node at this moment. So I'm going to connect our pxr surface here. So it shows some error. I'm not sure why it shows this way. So instead of doing like this, maybe we can connect this way and we can delete this now. So yeah, I have all my textures imported here, and now let's change this like this, minimize it. Let's make a bit of room to work. So as you can see here, I'm just going to use a metallic map, but we don't have a direct option to connect our metallic map in our pxr surface. So we are going to use pxr metallic workflow node. So instead of directly connecting our color, so I'm going to connect our base color and get this result diffuse RGB to our color. So yeah, I'm going to connect our metallic here, and so now you can see here, according to the metallic brightness, so the base color is reduced. If your metallic map is bright, so it automatically reduce the brightness of your color, so make it darker so that the it will work with PXR surface material, so this way. So yeah, I'm just going to connect the roughness directly to the PXR surface, and I'm going to connect our specular edge RGB to edge color and face RGB to face color. So now you can see here, so we are successfully loaded our textures here, so everything is pretty much working fine. I'm not happy with this one. Maybe I just want this to be brighter. Maybe we can change that later using a different method, so that we can just work on that particular object, even without assigning a different material to it. So yeah, we have our basic setup is ready. So I'm going to use the same setup, and I'm going to okay, so I forgot something. So we need to connect our normal map to our PXR surface. So yeah, basically everything is working fine. So yeah, so now everything is working fine. So I'm going to using the same setup, and without changing anything, so you don't have to dive into this network material create. So we are going to introduce a new concept called child material system. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to expose some of the parameters like file name, the metallics, and all the other nodes file name, and maybe we can add some CC kind of stuffs and expose the parameter like nukes gizmo, and it will be available here so that you can reuse later. So it might looks like a bit complicated, but once I show you, you will understand, and you will see the power of it. So first I'm just going to right click and show material parameters in a floating window, and I'm going to dock this here and stop the IPR. So here is my parameter view for my network material create node, and I'm going to dive into this. Let's enable the editing flag here. So now I'm going to so whatever parameter that you want, you need to click this little icon and add to material interface. So now as you can see here, once I added this, it is now available here. So I'm going to add other textures as well. So oops, yeah, it's fine. So basically we need to change the naming of this. So I'm just going to undo this, and first let's change the naming of this here. So edit material interface option. So basically we have the options to editing this. So this is the name and this is the label. So basically label is the name that will be appear in our network material parameter, so on the window. So this is the internal name, so that is connected to our internal textures, so internal sharing networks. So basically we can have same name for other parameters in the label, but we can't have the same name repeated in the name, so that it shows error before. So I'm just going to explain that. So I'm going to add to material interface. Here it shows error. I'm just going to edit material interface. As you can see here, I keep this label the same, but this one to metallic map and press enter. Now you can see here, so we have the same name here, but it works fine. So it doesn't show error because we have changed the name here. So it doesn't accept the existing name. So we need to always keep that in mind. So in this case, I'm just going to change this to just the metallic. So now you can see here, so this is the metallic texture. So I'm just going to change the color texture the same way. So let's change this name to so I forgot something what I've changed. Yes, sometimes it happens. So metallic and metallic map. So same way. It's a bit of a confused things. So The same way I'm going to change it here as well. Oh, we haven't exposed this yet. So yeah, I'm going to edit this. Oh. Cool. And finally the normal map. So we have all our parameters are now properly renamed, and everything is easily understandable. So we have some other options as well. So you can, change the groupings of these things as you want. So yeah, I'm just going to explain the groupings. So basically it's like expandables, so I'm just going to explain in a minute. So basically now it is everything is available at the top level. So maybe I just want this under a group called textures, and under that I want a group called color, and at that only I want the color parameter to be available. So in order to make that, I'm just going to create a group called textures first. So now let's enable this. So now you can see here, once I add the texture in the page, so now we can see we have a option to expand our groups here. So we have a group called texture. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more step, so that so in order to create a group, inside a group you need to put a dot, and from here I'm just going to add color. So now if I press enter, now you can see we have color, texture. So it works this way. So now I'm going to do the same for other textures as well. So edit, and now if you click, so your texture will be available, and on top of that I'm going to use the metallic and press enter. So now the metallic texture parameter is now available under metallic. So I'm going to do the same for other parameters as well. So it will be under roughness. Finally, our normal. Cool. So now you can see here we have the sources and order here. So here all our names will be available according to our parameter interface, and here all our these are labels and these are the names actually. So as you can see here we have the color map and metallic map, and this way. So these are the actual naming that are connected to our shading networks. So you can reorder if you want here. So this way now you can see roughness is at second. So yeah, so it works this way, and cool. So we have our network material parameters already. So as you can see here, so now the real concept of we are going to talk about the real thing of using this network material interface. So basically what I'm going to do is, let's go to the monitor and press F. I'm going to create a material node. So we have a material node, and I'm going to instead of create a new material, I'm going to create a child material. So basically, so this child material is looking for a parent material. So I'm going to use this decor C stand ground NMC that we have created. Once I drag and drop into this location, as you can see here, whatever the parameters that we have exposed will be now available according to the way that we exposed. So as you can see here, so everything is just working fine. I'm just going to create a group stack from this. So now we have our material stack here. I'm just going to assign this to the camera, maybe yeah, let's assign this to tripod head. Oops. So we have our material, so let's change the name here. So basically I'm just going to drag and drop here. So I'm going to remove the other stuffs. So yeah, cool. Now if you see here, so this material, the new child material, is now available under this thing. So I have explained something. I have forgot to explain something. So basically you have something called namespace here. So add a namespace here. So basically once you create a namespace, it creates a group in your scene graph. So you can create as many namespaces as you want, and once you drag and drop into this, so that particular material will be available under this. So basically this is going to be this naming space. We can change this, but we have already assigned this here. So if you change this, we need to change it here as well. So I don't want that. I just wanted to explain this option. So yeah, I'm going to undo this. So yeah, so we have the material, child material. So as you can see here, once you create a child material, so it will be available under your parent material, so that you can easily understand, so what is the parent or what is the child of what. So you can create a child material from a child material. So I'm just going to explain this. So this is a new child material, and I'm going to drag and drop the existing child material, so it still follow everything. So basically it will inherit all your changes from this child material basically. So yeah, let's delete this for now, and we have this. I'm going to assign this to yeah, our tripod head. We already got the name. Oh, okay, so I'm going to get the name from here. Basically we need to change this to MA, so that MAT material. So yeah, so let's change the assignment MA, and I'm going to assign my material and connect my geo here, and let's launch the IPR. Cool. As you can see here, the material is working fine, but the problem is we are not able to see the textures because it still gets the decor C stance texture. So we need to change it here. So as you can see here, we haven't changed anything, but so everything is pretty much working fine. Everything is inherited from our network material create node, but finally we are going to change it here, and everything will be just work fine. So I'm just going to, instead of, so I'm going to copy this from here, the name, and I'm going to, let's expand this. So let's change the name here. Once I change this, why it's not working? Let's launch the IPR again. Oh, it's still not working. Oh, we have sorry, it's my mistake. I have copied the wrong name. So we need to copy this name instead of, so sorry, it's my mistake. So yeah, let's copy this. It's a bit of a tedious process, but yeah, now you can see here it's just working fine. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other parameters as well, so that now you can see the real power of the child material system. We can make this workflow even more automatable, but let's see that in the future tutorials, so I don't want to confuse even more. So yeah, so as you can see here, so now everything is just working fine. So we just have to change the naming of the maps, and it just picked everything here. So I'm just going to assign the other materials as well, and then finally I'm going to show you some other option. So Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this, and let's change this to name to camera, and let's copy this again, and let's change this. So yeah, we have changed the namings here, and let's assign the material. So I'm going to just duplicate it and change it. So finally I'm going to assign the geometry here. Oops. Okay, so we have our camera material. Let's replace. Okay, so now you can see we have successfully changed the camera's textures and assigned the child material, so we have only one more asset to go with. So let's duplicate this once again and copy this. Copy, and finally let's change the name to material, and yeah, let's change the textures. Okay, so yeah, we have changed the textures, and let's assign now. And assign the geometry, assign our material. Cool, so everything is just working fine, as you can see here. So even if you have a lot of materials, a lot of assets in your scene, you don't need to work over and over again. So you can just create a simple setup, and you can just assign this way, and if you want, you can expose other parameters and you can work accordingly. So in this case, I'm just going to explain. I'm just going to save this first. So yeah, now I'm going to add some more options to this, and let's see. So I'm going to add a color correct node, and yeah, pxr color correct, and connect this in the input color, connect the output to this node. So yeah, it's now everything is working fine. So I'm just going to stop the IPR and go to the network material node, the parameters. So now I'm going to just expose a few parameters from this. So yeah, so now you can see here we have color correct and input output ranges as well. So I'm just going to I'm just going to add the gamma and RGB gain and HSV, finally the exposure. So yeah, as you can see here, now everything is outside this, but I want this to be under texture, color, and there should be another group called CC under this color parameter. So I want all these parameters to be available under this one. So yeah, I'm just going to change this here itself. no problem. So yeah, I'm just going to edit material. You don't have to all the time go here and change your namings and other stuff, so you can do this here itself. So yeah, then the label is the one that is available here, so we are going to change it here. So basically I'm going to add a color underscore here, and we have the naming called color correct. Basically I'm just going to copy this and picture dot color dot color correct. Once you press enter, now you can see here under the color, now we have a group called color correct, and the gamma is now available under this. So I'm just going to right click and edit material. I'm just going to copy this once again. So yeah, so I'm going to repeat the same process again for this. So before, let's add color underscore here so that we don't have any conflicts in the namings. Finally, the exposure. Underscore exposure. Cool. So now everything is pretty much there. Now if I go one step back and go to our child material and see if everything is working fine. Now, yeah, cool. So as you can see here, all the textures and other all the color correction options are available to all the child materials automatically. So yeah, this really cool. So if you want, you can add a remap node to your roughness and metallic, and you can play accordingly. So yeah, I don't want to waste that much of time, so I'm just going to I'm just going to explain about the material override. So let me launch the IPR again, and so this is the cool thing, a purpose of child material. And as I've already told you, I'm not happy with this object, so I just want this to be a shiny, a bright metal kind of look, still kind of a look. So in order to do that, you can create a different child material, and you can just assign that, and you can just change the color correct here, but I don't want that. We have a even more simple and better solution for that works according to the geometry selection and attributes. So I'm just going to create a material node after our material assignment stack. So we have our material node. I'm going to, instead of create a child or new material, so I'm going to use the override material. So basically what we have to do is we need to select this geometry here. So in order to select it from the render view, I'm just going to get this guy and point it here, and now you can see the object here. Click this button and select in scene graph so that it can select the object in the scene graph. So I'm going to just assign this here, and so the object for material override is assigned. Now what we have to do is you need to go to the attributes. Basically the parameters and attributes are different things. Basically we can just see the attributes and its value here, but we cannot change it here. So yeah, we have to always keep that in mind. In order to change, you need to use an attribute set or other stuffs to change this here, but in this case we are going to work on the material override. So basically what we are going to do is we can check our material assignment here, and we can select our material here. Now you can see in the scene graph our selection is changed. So now this is our selection, and if you go to the material here and the parameters, you can see our exposed parameters. So now you can actually, I'm just going to drop it here. So go to the parameters. I'm just going to grab the material that I want from here. Actually, I'm just going to drag and drop this exposure to this. Now you can see here, now this option is available. So I just want this to be bright. So actually the metallic value is already high. So I'm just going to increase this. As you can see here, as I increase, now it becomes more and more brighter. So it really helps us a lot. So you don't have to assign a different child material, or you don't have to assign a different material, or you don't even have to get a particular mask for that geometry and put a different CC node, I mean collectorate node, and you don't have to work even that way. So it is very simple. So in a production, so if you are in a tight deadline, so if you want just a mask for just this option, this object, or if you want that texture to be corrected from the texture department, so it will take some time. So we really don't want that. So you can use this way. So it is pretty simple and pretty straightforward. So yeah, so if you want to assign, I mean adjust the roughness, you can basically use a remap node after this your roughness, and you can expose the parameters. So basically in production you will have kind of a library material that has all the texture nodes, and all the CC nodes will be available connected, and most of the parameters will be exported. So mostly if we are working on a hero asset, then only we will create a new material kind of a stuff. So other than that, this will be more than enough for us. So yeah, hopefully it helps a lot. So yeah, so our asset is ready, pretty much there. So I'm just going to explain about the look file baking, so in the next video. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial, and thanks for watching.